yet. So we'll see if that does come out or if the superior range of Eclipse will be enough. But let's get excited. Crowd, can we have a round of applause for our two teams?
About to get into a fantastic match here. It's going to be game one of this winner's semifinals match. Splat zones on Kelp Dome. You can see that large square zone right in the smack dab middle of the map. You can also see that huge obstacle sticking out of it that you also have to paint in order to fully take over the zone. And interestingly enough, both teams bringing in with them a heavy splatling. One team with the deco, that is going to be Eclipse. They will have that bubble blower for the zone, but for the most part, it looks like Legacy has taken control first just about. It's being pretty evenly split so far, but one player's going down for each team so far. You can see the way both of them are using these grates to maneuver around on. It's a fantastic place to get set up on if you are a splatling player. Raziel going to be getting the pick onto the one. That's going to be a nice job there as that Inkstorm is so deadly. And another kill there as Tension is going to get revenge.
One thing that we'll need to keep an eye on over here, these bubbles right here. One of these Splatlings has a bubble and the other one does not. A very deliberate choice to go with the Stingray. We know Stingray's strong, but this is a mighty big zone. Dan moving over here on the right. Dan and Hype have been running together almost the entire day. The one here, we see that Inkjet that you talked about making a run towards the middle. The one trying to come over here and support the push. Ross is going to have to get up here. I love it. What a great shark here. Even if the one doesn't go down, good job by the one coming in here. But that was such a great shark that delayed this ever so slightly. Dan going to get the punishment on that. I believe that's 3 down. That's a delayed full wipe, and time is starting to tick away.
Yeah, you can see the appeal of the N-Zap here. The strafing on it is so fantastic. It can be a good turfing weapon, and it builds up that ink armor so quickly that it basically becomes required. So much that Legacy has run 2 of them here today. I'm also excited to see the juxtaposition between the 10 attack and the splatter shot. The one going to go down to small place shots, and there's a big team fight breaking out in the middle of the map, which is going so well for Legacy, and that will seal it. Legacy with a fantastic job grabbing the zone and never looking back, and they will take game number 1.
Making it look easy, and there you saw that there were some attempts at flanks, some pushes that were trying to come in, but it just took a little bit too long. The ability that Legacy had, kind of an amoeba flowing and morphing together about that huge center, got it done right there, and that Splatling holding it down, doing what needed to be done, getting that paint there at the very beginning. That initial interaction at the very beginning is so important on Kelp Dome because it's so easy to lock the other team out like we just saw. So great play by them all throughout.
We're going to have to see how these two team comps shake out for this next map mode, which will be Clam Blitz on Blackbelly Skate Park. You have a much different map here, a lot smaller than Kelp Dome. Again, it'll be focused on the main center of the map, but because it's Clam Blitz, it forces the players to go to the very far extremes of the map over by the enemy team spawn. And it's going to be really important for Eclipse here to break this double armor comp that Legacy has brought in with them. They had one that was being the main aggressive player and one sort of staying back, acting as the support, providing backup, sort of being that second person in a 2v1 engagement and trying to build up that ink armor as quickly as they could. And to do that, they're going to need weapons that do well at breaking armor. I like the Brella because you get with that Inkstorm free damage on somebody that's wearing ink armor. So before you even start an engagement with them, if the Inkstorm is over their head, it's likely that it's going to break and you have a good chance to win that fight.
One thing to keep an eye on here, Hitzel and I talked about this earlier, because of all the resources it takes to fight your way down halfpipe, and if you're just joining us not familiar with the terms, you'll see here it is a skate park. The left side of your map is what you would call the opponent's halfpipe. If you push down that, that's one of the easiest ways to get to the goal, at least in terms of distance. But it takes a lot to get through there. When you put all those resources to get through there, the opponent can get a backdoor, can sneak a clam all the way through the back door. And if they put it in first, all those resources spent for nothing.
And another really important mechanic specifically of Clam Blitz is that you can throw both regular and power clams to your teammates, and you can throw them away just so that you aren't a target anymore. When you have that power clam, you get a big icon over your head that means other players will be targeting you down and they know where you are at any given point. So it's really even more important on something like Blackbelly where they respawn so quickly to make use of those 3 and 4 down situations, and it's going to be a real nail biter here as we're seeing a lot of short range comps, not really anything too long range except for the Forge, but that's kind of to be expected since Blackbelly tends to be such an aggressive map.
And Zach, I know you're happy to see both of these Tri-Sloshers.
Oh,
you
yes.
might be the happiest person in the venue, aside from maybe Sneaky, to see Tri-Sloshers coming back.
I'm so thrilled about it. I love the fact that they provide ink armor. The fact that they can be a substitute for an N-Zap just shows how good they can be. You have that extra coverage on the left and right hand sides to where if you aren't exactly perfect with that aim, there's still a good chance that you can take them out. The one already building up a power claim here, and it looks like, as you said, they will be going down that half pipe, but they were a little bit optimistic with that push. The bubbles are out, so Tension going to be able to break that barrier, and the first points go to Eclipse.
And getting Razzle here is really big because they're going to be able to rush. Very good composure there from Chill. If Chill had gone down, You see Chill, the last line of defense, and Ross comes in with the punishment, just barely missing, though. That football is a little heavier. 10 clams more heavy than 1. Who knew?
A devastating miss there. We're going to have to remember that and see if that comes back to haunt them later. Legacy, though, needs to get some map control back. It looks like Raziel's about to engage in a tri-slusher duel. Nobody going down just yet, while Hype is chasing down somebody in half pipe. Looks like nobody really too concerned about map control right now. It looks like they're looking for 1v1 engagements here. Hype trying to duel with the 10 attack, and they're going to have to expend their splatter shot, but they will go down. DJ going to end up winning that one, and they will go over to that mid cylinder. It's so important to control the cylinder here in mid because you can fire basically the entire middle of the map with your color ink, and that's so important when maneuvering around.
Absolutely, and with the lack of fall-off damage that you get from both the Slosher Machine and the Tri-Slosher, it's all that more important to hold it up there, because as you're starting to see, a lot of these clans are located centrally, or at least within a jump and swim distance of it. Control of the center is control of the clams, as well as control of the paint. I like what Dan's doing over here, trying to build up armor to establish some sort of base that they can go through, and they can push out, because getting blocked out is a very real danger here. You see Raziel coming over here, building up very, very close to that armor. They're loading up. They're putting a lot of eggs in this basket. Here comes the armor. Let's see what happens.
Legacy's being so patient, and that could be good or it could turn out to haunt them, and it looks like the latter is going to be the case here. They've already lost 2 of their members, and while they do have a blaster with that splashdown at the ready, they're not going to have any armor to go forward with, and they might even lose one here thanks to that splashdown. They will survive, and DJ will take them out, so it is going to be a bad job here for Legacy, as Eclipse has another chance to push through this half pipe, pop those bubbles, and have an avenue here to break the barrier, which is exactly what they'll do, but they'll all get fully wiped, so just a barrier break, that's all they'll get. A few points added, the penalty taken away, but for how long?
And look at this map. Look at this already. Because they got fully wiped there, there's already a counter push coming, and look how yellow that map became. That was a wipe, but like you said, they didn't get a whole lot out of it. They got a break. They didn't get a whole lot of points here. They're playing good defense now, which is important, but that's the dynamic of this map, right? You get fully wiped after you think, okay, we just got a score. Turns out the enemy team is here. They had 3 footballs on the field.
And you can see how large that icon gets when the enemy team has so many clams. 28 clams currently in possession of Legacy, a couple of those in the form of power clams, and that means Eclipse has some work to do. Great kill there as they were falling by Raziel, and that's going to be another clam that they can camp or at least worry over as it despawns. Now the ink armor's out, and it's going to be shared to 2 other members of Legacy, trying to push forward again into that half pipe to make sure that they can share as many clams as possible, but here comes that deadly Stingray that's so devastating on a map like this one where there isn't too much room to maneuver around him. Raziel not within enough range to get rid of DJ there, and that's going to be Hype going down as well. Raziel getting close to that power clam, but it seems like Legacy's biggest flaw is that they're too hesitant to push in. Meanwhile, Eclipse has been very aggressive, and it's paid off for them.
Absolutely, and let's give credit where credit's due. There have been a lot of opportunities that Legacy have been patient, given themselves a chance, but the defensive play that we've seen here from Eclipse, just waiting around, that was kind of a desperation push right there to try to make something, knowing that they were the only one left, but just composure, composure, composure. One thing that will separate any top-level team from the next one is the ability to stay composed in the face of aggression and in the face of danger. Hype sharking around here at the bottom. Going to go and get Ross right there. Very, very clean. Didn't take a whole lot of time. Opting to back out and wait for the rest of the team to come back around. Trying to set up shop here on the right side. Splashdown is at the ready, as well as 8 clams. Now with some armor, they might be able to get something done. You see them start to crash in here from this right side, but Eclipse knows it too.
It looks like Legacy, their key to success is this double ink armor comp, and it looks like when they don't have it up, they're playing very passively. That's why they haven't been able to break the barrier so far, but it looks like that might change. Dan with a great double kill, and that's going to be 3 down on the side of Eclipse, and that's going to be a huge barrier break as they take the lead, and that's what keeping all of those clams in their possession was all about, a last-second offensive that looks like it's going to be in their favor, and Dan also spawn camping, forcing them to be fully wiped.
That is 2 consecutive full wipes. Chill's going to get it. They're going to get a chance to play some defense here on the side, and it looks like we might finally hit the end of the damage here. No, they snuck another one in. How are they doing this with just over 10 seconds left? It's going to take a power clam and then some. The one trying to blaze a trail over here, but someone was sharking and waiting, just able to get away. Raziel comes back, picks up the kill on DJ. Raziel moving in here again. They don't have a power clam down there. The one goes down. Raziel now moving up here at the top. They have to make a desperation play here, and it's Ross on the Slosh Machine that's going to be holding it in this extended overtime.
Oh man, it's a tough decision for Ross. He does get the kill. I might want to throw that power clam away so that I can go back and use my Stingray, but they get melted down, and as soon as that despawns, that will be the game. Legacy, it took them a while to get started up, but as you said, patience was key. They made their play, it paid off, and they will take it to a lead because of it.
You talk about composure on defense. How about composure on offense in the face of composed defense? Knowing that not every opening is going to be the opening you need, but once you get that opening, taking it as far as you can. Great discipline, and that was that second That second power clam came all the way from the right side, swinging around right in front of Spawn. So they had that waiting in the wings if that did not go correctly to be able to swing around there. Legacy is firing on all cylinders right now.
Even though it's a small map, Blackbelly Skate Park can provide such a great opportunity for you to push in at a bunch of different points. You can use the sniper perch, you can use the half pipe, you can push through mid, you can go all the way to the left and go to your opponent's half pipe, and even flank all the way around if you want to. So even though it's not that big a map, it is sort of circular, which gives you plenty of opportunities to move in. And that's why both teams were focusing so hard on map control, especially Legacy, before they made any sudden moves. We saw Eclipse a couple of times try and bum rush, sometimes without even having a power clamp down that half pipe. We saw the one do that at the very end of the game, just trying to stay alive desperately over by that barrier to see if they could break it, to see if one teammate could throw them one or two more clams, but it did not pay out in their favor. Time ran out on them. Legacy, with the patience there, will take game 2, and now it's going to take a reverse sweep for Eclipse to move on in this winner's bracket.
Getting 3 wins, very difficult. Getting 3 wins in a row against Legacy, all the more difficult. It is worth bearing that the last 2 sets that these two played, and it's not on land, Eclipse won. Eclipse won. They had their number, but a different Legacy showing up today. And of course, all these people watching, all these voices, it is a different atmosphere. It's a whole different ball game once you're in person.
And that's the story of LANs, right? Is that you can have some incredible upset stories because some teams feed better off of that energy of the crowd and of themselves being in person than other teams do. Some teams get kind of jittery, they get unsure of themselves, maybe they have one bad set and it all goes to their head, but both of these teams seem to be playing on all cylinders here, and I think Eclipse has a good shot to take game 3 if they can stick to their plan here. They need to break that double armor comp. They have players like DJ who can get in their faces and take away that ink armor so quickly that it won't really matter if they take 1 or 2 additional shots. They'll already be melted down.
Absolutely. Looks like it's going to be the exact same comp coming out here from Legacy, and why not? Don't fix what ain't broken. Very similar comps on both, but is that a range blaster that I spy up there in the top right?
I do
That's
indeed.
one way to break armor.
That's going to be going for it, and also just the one hit kill potential that hero roller is going to offer, but unfortunately for them, it's going to be a 2-down situation. Great start here for Legacy as they're looking to pick up the Rainmaker and go to that very popular left-hand side alleyway, but DJ says no, I'll take a double while I'm at it. Thank you so much. And number 2 with Fries on the side, and he'll even pop the Rainmaker barrier additionally.
And DJ, that was a little bit of a risk there, waiting there. If DJ had got taken down, that was the last line of defense, and there wasn't a whole lot of turf ahead. But DJ, talk about confidence, knowing that you'd get the one and even get both of them in that situation. But they didn't move the Rainmaker very far. Chill's going to grab it here with some ink. Oh, they got caught from behind. That was very close. You see Dan still sitting up there, but I believe it was once again DJ playing savior of the team right now.
DJ will fall, but he's been the main culprit stopping these pushes. Both times they've had a perfect painted pathway through that alleyway that they would have gotten way past the halfway mark on, but it seems like the tenacity of DJ is going to play in here as they get behind the Rainmaker somehow and are able to take them out. Tension going to be, who switched over to that blaster, is going to be trying to keep them at bay. Ross moving very far forward, not able to get the kill on Raziel, who showed great composure. Nice job there with that sloshing machine. I'm sure they're trying to build up that Stingray, which is why they're staying so far back. The one now for Eclipse going to be picking up the Rainmaker, and again, there's that Stingray that we've been talking about, trying to get up that box, but to no avail. Chill will take them out, and Legacy, we've seen them on offense, not a bad defense either.
Absolutely not. A lot of people think that just because you're playing an aggressive comp, you can't play defense. Not the case whatsoever here. The NTAP can kind of do a little bit of everything, and that was very close to getting taken out and gets taken down on the return anyway. The one barely escaping right there, and that may come back and be very important because he got that ink armor off. As a result, if he had died in that position, that would not have been the case. Ross gonna have to jump back now. Tension now with the aid of that ink armor also there as well. Raziel gonna come up here, try to paint things down, get a little more control on this pivotal left side. Gonna have to jump back though, or do something, or just fire that Stingray with infinite range from all the way across the map.
It seems like they always have a Stingray for their pushes, and that's exactly what Legacy is hoping for. That's why they brought that sloshing machine in. It's not only effective at pretty much every range, but it builds up that Stingray relatively quickly, and Chill now going to be able to take the Rainmaker over because of it. Nobody on the map with any special ready so far. Chill trying to blaze a path up here. They might be taking the less used ramp path that goes directly by your enemy spawn. The one going to be popping that ink armor though, and it'll be taken away immediately as that auto bomb detonates. They're going to have to back up here, and it's a 3v2 situation for Legacy, who loses to the Rainmaker and may lose more than that, but Hype still stands. He's going to be able to get away just barely, but not quite, as it's going to be a 2v0 situation with a full wipe force by Eclipse.
This is the risk if you take it on that side. There's a reason it's lesser used, because look at how quickly they got to take that down that alleyway. That was a short trot over there. Dan up here on the side now, going to get taken down as well. A very brave jump down here by the Rainmaker. Chill going to try to back it up, and I believe that was a delayed 3 down. Once again, we keep saying the name, it's DJ. No heroics this time, but Tension still up there, continuing to punish them as Ross comes in with the jump.
Yeah, we've seen Tension on the Forge pretty much all day, but they're doing very well on this Range Blaster. Having that Inkstorm is so nice to just be able to get some more map control, and it also is pretty difficult for him to stay alive as he's not able to get away, trying to fall to safety, but it's not enough, and now Chill is going to be pushing this Rainmaker. Once again, no specials at the ready, and they'll be attacked head-on by the one who's not afraid to get his hands dirty. Going to be able to come away with a kill there and move down to get some more map control and build up that ever-important Ink Armor. Just because the enemy team has more Ink Armors than you does not mean yours can't still be effective.
Absolutely, here comes the run. Once again, going the other way. They are taking it this rampway. Tension has nobody. Gonna do it. Can we see it? No, just not enough. But 6, a darn good push. It's going to need to be a knockout to beat that. Razu gonna try to snipe things away, but needs to be careful not to break that Rainmaker. If that Rainmaker gets broken, they're gonna be able to grab it and jump it right up. Wisely not doing that, instead punishing. But now Legacy has to dig deep and make a big push. We saw it earlier on Clan Blitz, but this is an even more daunting push with just over a minute left.
Yeah, the important thing on this map is that there's not really a spot for you to jump it off on, just maybe on the very left-hand extremes, and that wasn't in a position where the Rainmaker could actually do that. Dan now going to be the one operating the Rainmaker for the moment. We do have a splashdown on the ready, but it's going to go away as Hype dies, and now Dan going to fall as well. Ross trying to find the double kill. He's going to have to expend the splashdown. That does pop the Rainmaker barrier, but his life will not be spared. Razio once again has that Stingray. It seems like that thing's always up, and he's not going to wait for anyone to pick it up. He's going to pop it immediately and try and get an even better man-down situation for Legacy.
They're going to need a couple down here in that situation as the Rainmaker about to reset back to the bottom. You see Tension sharking around down here with this Range Blaster. Needs to reposition as 2 Ink Armored Squids do approach him here. One runs in, but the one is going to punish them. Tension going to be pivoting back up towards the top. Now the one coming in on this left side. The one knows they are in the lead, and they have a big lead. Going to sit back up here, shark around the Rainmaker. It's going to take a desperation Hail Mary. The one going to go ahead and punish that, and a much better game that time from Eclipse. After starting off kind of precariously, but once they got that lead, once they snuck it in that back door, that left side, the game mode changes so drastically when you're in the lead or when your opponent is in the lead.
A full wipe onto Legacy by Eclipse puts that cherry on top for them that they might be able to reverse sweep here. A nice balanced performance from both teams. Really nobody even getting a worse KA than 9 and no higher than 13. So pretty much everybody on the map playing a balanced performance here. We saw finally Eclipse start to master the double Ink Armor comp that Legacy was providing, and the Tri-Slosher of the one came in so handy there. The burst bombs just as important as the main weapon, and that Ink Armor 2 providing some coverage for their team, getting a huge push all the way up to 6 again. We talked about they're more willing to be aggressive with the objective than Legacy is, and that came back to haunt them as Legacy really didn't get too many opportunities. They had a couple in the first minute and a half of the game, but there was always DJ there. DJ always got behind the Rainmaker and was able to take them out, and after those 2 times, they never really got a great opportunity. It was all Eclipse from there.
Tower control on Humpback Pump Track. For those of you who don't know or maybe played back in the early days, this map recently got a makeover, or at least the tower path did. It used to be it would go to that left bump. That would be the first checkpoint, and then you'd run right along the side there at the front. And you would see a lot of big pushes come in on this map as a result, because it was shielded sort of by the geography. Now, not the case. It goes to the right side to that right bump for its first checkpoint, then runs in a much more exposed pathway, meaning that we don't see those big pushes. They do come in handy, they do happen every once in a while, but they are not nearly as prevalent. I very much like the change to it, and I think the sloshing machines are going to have a field day here, as they always do, but this map, beloved by sloshing machine mains.
For being such a relatively circular map, Stingrays can still be so effective on this map, and it's also important to maintain that trench control. There's that moat that goes all the way around the center portion of the map, and sharking around with somebody like DJ on the splatter shot or Tenatech can really be so effective if the enemy team isn't expecting you. So you always have to be looking over your shoulder. Because this map is so circular, flanks can happen from anywhere, from the window, from the left and right hand side boxes, from the grating. It really doesn't matter, and you see that kind of S shape that the tower is going to take. I like this change here. They have 3 checkpoints to get through, which is a tall order, so this one is not going to be over quickly.
Absolutely not. And you see Tension opting to stay on this Range Blaster. Not something that we've seen. Right now, the flavor of the month is Vanilla. That is the Vanilla Blaster. And now we're going to see the Rapid Blaster coming out here from Chill. And yes, I am proud of that one.
So we've got the double end-zap comp once again coming up from Legacy. They're feeling pretty confident about that. Chill just trying to stay back. That distance so important, but Tension says, I have a range in my name too. I'm going to end up taking you out. That's a 3-down situation there onto Legacy, forced by Eclipse. And Eclipse feeling a little bit more confident by the looks of things. No specials really up yet. Ross trying to build up that Stingray over in the front there. Raziel just looking for an opening for now, contending himself with throwing those suction bombs down and building up that ink armor. This Storm is going to come down as well, and the one is going to get killed. And now we have a 4v3 situation as Eclipse still maintains their control over the tower. This Stingray is coming out, and Tension gets melted there by Raziel. Could this be the end of the push finally? Hype is going to push up while Raziel has to retreat. And we also have the roller with them as well. That's a 3-down situation. Huge stoppage there. And with all of that said, Legacy does have the map control, so a tower coming back could easily be going in Legacy's favor.
Absolutely, but you see they did get past that second checkpoint, the ever-daunting second checkpoint. If you aren't familiar with this game, if you're just tuning in now, once the tower hits that checkpoint, an arbitrary amount of time must pass before you move past that checkpoint. If you do not get all the way past it, you have to pass that time again. You keep your point value, but that's all you keep in that situation. Bomb rush coming in here from Chill, who then has to back over because Ross snuck all the way around to the right side. Don't know how he managed to do it without getting called out, and punishes, even takes the armor off of Raziel, and Tension more than happy to have that move.
3v2 here for Eclipse as they try and get this Ink Storm out. That's going to provide a lot of map control, and you can see it shifted way over to green from that previous purple. And really, this comp from Legacy doesn't work if their N-Zaps don't stay alive to provide the armor. Hype trying to win this 1v1 here, but they both know that distance is key. If anyone gets too close, they're going to be melted down. Tension's going to be melted, speaking of that, and the Ink Armor is going to indeed be popped. That's going to be an odd man advantage here, 4v2 for Legacy as Hype tries to catch anyone that's coming out. The Ink Armor is gone, and DJ actually gets both the armor and the squid down, looking for the delay double. They're going to find it onto Chill. Couldn't find the triple there, but that was still a big effort as Raziel is finally going to stop their reign of terror. Tension still trying to build up this Ink Armor once again as the Stingray comes out for Eclipse, and he got on too much of a high ground, and he was easy pickings for Dan. Dan trying to do a little bit of spawn camping as well, and the splatter shot, or the splash down rather, is still going to be so important. If they get too close to the tower, they can jump on it, get that splash down, and that provides a huge momentum shift for Legacy as map control remains split here.
Absolutely. The next squid up mentality that you're seeing here, it seems like every time someone gets a kill, someone is there to then come in and clean up. That's not by accident. They know where to put themselves. The callouts are clean, and they do know how to move and clean things up here. One player that we really are talking about a lot, but I feel like it bears mentioning again, Tension, knowing exactly the range to play at with that ranged blaster. It is the slowest weapon on the map currently by far, but if you know how to space it, it can do what needs to be done. Chill needs to find a way to put pressure on Tension to stop letting that reign of terror, as you called it, continue. However, another reign of terror starting here with the side of Stingray. The Stingray going to get it done, but you see the rain coming in as well. Now Ross moving back in after using that Stingray, and Inkjet coming in once again, and Legacy has really not found a solid hold on this map the entire game.
Yeah, DJ really hasn't been prioritizing the Inkjet too much. They're good enough with the main weapon that they really don't need to worry about the Inkjet too much unless they're playing a more zoning role. Eclipse has gone 2 down there, but they still have the Ink Armor coming out from the Tri-Slusher, the 1. Jill's setting up on the tower, and they're immediately going to pop that Splat Bomb launcher as they get it. Going to maintain some map control here as they start to continue their best push of the game so far. Going to be looking for any sort of kills, and you want that longer range weapon on the tower so that they can stay on the tower while being an offensive presence. Tension going to look for some more kills here as they're so close to that Ink Storm. They cannot die right now. It's a 4v3 for Legacy as they continue to push and get the lead. Gonna try and pop that Ink Storm, but no, it's a full wipe for Legacy, and this push will continue.
It all started once Dan had worked his way back up to that raised flat area, did not let Tension get set up. I was calling out the wrong person. It was Dan on the roller who got up there, and the big push is complete. A 3-1 victory for Legacy, and what bravery there by Dan to go up and make that happen, knowing, hey, someone's got to get in. I've got a Ninja Squid roller. Why not me? What an awesome game.
We were so worried for Legacy's chances once Eclipse got past that second checkpoint, but Legacy was up to the challenge. They popped their specials at the correct time. That Splat Bomb launcher from the Rapid, so crucial in locking down anybody that was trying to get over to that window to stop the tower from continuing. And that's part of what made that push continue past that crucial 38 mark. They were able to get a fantastic push out of there. Again, like I said, you really want that long-range weapon to be the one on the tower at all times. They can protect their body with the pole in the middle and continue continue firing from that right-hand side. So again, I'm excited to see what Legacy could do as they move on in the winner's bracket. Eclipse was a tough customer. They came all the way up through the redemption bracket, and the day's not over for them. You forget that they already have the loser's bracket to go through as well. So as they continue on forward, I'm looking forward to seeing if they can make it back to perhaps challenge Legacy again, whether in the losers or the winner's bracket.
Absolutely. Up now steps the king. I am, of course, referring to King Tudos. Tudos and his children. This is Tudos, Manabe, Red, and the always amazing Kotetsu. Good stuff.
Nice zoom in on King Tudos' face there as well. I like that little camera. We're getting some beautiful camera work there. I believe Eirik might be doing that, but this tournament has been absolutely fantastic. The caliber of teams that we're seeing here, the journeys that these individual players have made, some of them going through literal hell and back to get here. Players like Hexen with canceled flights, closed gates. It sounds like something I would go through because my travel days here have been
that's
pretty difficult as well.
If you ever come to a LAN, ask Zach how many flights he had to go through to get to it, because I bet it's more than you.
It was a journey, but it's so worth it to be here. The crowd has been so electric so far, and these matches have been absolutely fantastic. And this next one's going to be no different. Tudos and his children, composed of a lot of Yami members, along with Tudos, formerly of SRL before they collapsed. And Komodo, a long-standing team with a very varied and large roster. They can basically bring anybody that they want to, but the four that showed up are a dominating force, and I'm excited to see if they can pop off here and continue to do well. I'm, of course, talking about Lux, Mullen, Pixel, and Vesper, a fellow commentator. So lots to look forward to as we see another hype set, this time in the loser's bracket.
It's going to be a really great time. If you are familiar with any of the other Splatoon lands pixelated, Cody should not be a new name to you. Neither should Lux. Here's a stat for you. Cody has never finished worse than third at a LAN. Lux has never finished worse than second. A first and 2 seconds. That's Lux's record.
We have not really had more than 4 majors, so 4 or 5 majors. So to say that is absolutely astounding. They have a record to protect here, and they're not going to give it up easily.
Absolutely not. But you saw yesterday, I know it wasn't STDX at their full strength. This team did it. Tudos and his children were able to pull it off, and using some unconventional weapons. Back in the day, SRL or Speedruns Live was known for their unconventional weapon choices. We saw the new Dapple Dualies, the Dapple Dualie Nouveaux, come out there from Tetsu. And if you underestimate them and you let them get onto your plat into a very dangerous position, they will make you pay. Tetsu knows exactly when to shift from that roll to single roll to double roll. The Dapple Dualies, of course, being the fastest of the Dualies. So I'm expecting much the same here. He also has a very, very strong bamboo and, of course, a sloshing machine.
Yes.
If you got it, bring it.
And that Game 5 between Set to Destroy Tudos and his children was a fantastic showing of just how strong that sloshing machine can be. A really, really strong presence. I love the Dapple Dualies now that they've reduced some of the end lag on that roll. It can be such an offensive pressure. You just go forward and are able to get such a quick kill. If you can get within that optimal range, they will melt in front of you. And then you just roll back out and you're perfectly fine.
Absolutely. An exciting set on the horizon, but we are going to take it to a break. Genesis